Hey everyone, this is DeagleBeagle. So today I'm gonna look back at my history of my first Regulation C tournament. Now, before this, I had literally not even one battle on the Switch nor the Pokemon Showdown. So, what was my team? How did I come up with it? I'll show you that very soon because I know a lot of you are stuck on Regulation C teams, and this team worked really well for me. Most of it. The Slitherwing didn't work that well most games because like everyone had Arcanine, but the games where they didn't have Arcanine, it was pretty good. Just in general, people didn't really prepare for Slitherwing, and the reason why I picked Slitherwing is because I looked at it this way. I saw all four of these ruins Pokemon were weak to fighting. In fact, let me show you something. This is what I spent the morning before the Pokefolk tournament working on. Instead of battling, I was team building, and it sure paid off. So, the main difference between Series 2 and 3 at that time to me were the Ruins Pokemon. Now, not just the Ruins Pokemon, but how that affects the metagame. For example, if there's Ting-Lu and all these other dark types, but especially Ting-Lu, like Ting-Lu is just going to shut down Indeedee Armourouge. So stuff like that, I didn't prepare as much for because I figured it would be a little bit less used than before, and people would obviously, even if they were very experienced with Indeedee Armourouge or used to it, they would probably just figure that out for themselves. Like, hey, I don't want to use Indeedee Armourouge just by thinking about it without even battling. But even yeah, battling, they would probably figure it out, but within a couple battles too. So anyways, here's what I did. I researched a lot to come up with this, and I didn't know that many Regulation C combos, but the ones that I've heard of from Twitter or seen kind of when I played Series 0, which essentially is similar to Series 3. I remember some of these things like Qian Pao Dragonite, or you could use Qian Pao plus like another strong physical priority move user like Arcanine, or yeah, see, it has all these ones. So these are pretty much all the priority users that are physical and hit hard, and then the physical spread moves that hit only the foes and not your ally, like Qian Pao, which I forget what it means. And all these things mean something in Chinese. I forget what it is. You'll have to look it up because I'm too tired to remember. But I think something means like running punch or something, and then uh, who knows? Okay, so Dragon Dart. So basically, Dragapult, Rock Slide. Lots of mons learn Rock Slide, but some of the ones that hit hardest with Rock Slide would be like Tar, but that's kind of slow. So let me think of something. Rock Slide that has high speed and is a rock type. Lycan Rock, I think, would be. What? Lycan Rock would be like the main one. So, I don't know. Stone Joiner, maybe, because it boosts up Chien Pao's offense. So, that actually might be a decent combo, but Stone Joiner is so. No, it's not that slow, but it has low special defense, and you would need like Sash with both. So I don't know, but Breaking Swipe, you could use like a Roaring Moon. So basically, um, I'm just gonna say Lycan Rock / Stone Joiner, and then Breaking Swipe. You could probably say Roaring Moon, but I'm trying to think of some other one. Excalibur, maybe. Maybe Excalibur. Who just messaged me? Sure, sounds good. Making a video on it right now, lol. Okay, so Breaking Swipe, Moon / Backs, and then Mortal Spin, it's not a powerful, I'm just gonna take it off, fuck that. Excuse my language. Razor Leaf, you would need like a critical hit item. Grass one. So I don't know about Razor Leaf. That's just kind of like bad. So oh, let's just take that off. Petal Blizzard. Yeah, no. Here, actually, what we should leave it on, but just like cross it out. Or I'll just put it in red for now. Same with this stuff. It's kind of seems stupid. Okay, so just really just Earthquake and Explosion. But Explosion wouldn't work either, because you would have to have like the Garganacl, and that would hit your ally. Wait. Oh, you could use Protect with Chi and Pal though, so yeah, maybe that's fine. And then Earthquake, but I don't know about these kind of suck. And then because you don't want to hit your ally, and you might not even have Protect with Chi and Pal. And then snowballing physical moves: Aqua Step, Trailblaze, Flame Charge, Roll Out. But there's no good Pokemon that learns a stab rollout. I think Sudowoodo, last time I checked, gets a stab rollout, but that's just not bulky enough. So, no. Now, Chi-Yu with Flutter Mane or some other strong special priority move user. Priority moves that are special would be like Croak or Lucario. That's pretty much it. There's no other special priority move that I know of besides Vacuum Wave. So you could use that, but probably not that great. And Croak doesn't have great special attack, but you can give it a Life Orb. And special spread move that hits only foes: Acid or Air Cutter, Blizzard, Bubble. See, some of this BS like Bubble and stuff I should really take out, but I'm listing the full list of stuff, and I probably should just take it out, but for now I'll just highlight in red. And then Acid, I'm pretty sure that's a garbage move, but I think it has a chance to lower special defense. Yeah, that's kind of shitty. Excuse my language. That's bad. There's no good Pokemon that gets Electro Web. It's like Magnezone and Ampharos and Magneton. So that's kind of bad. There is Icy Wind though. How come I don't have Icy Wind? I do. Yeah, because I did a full list of everything. Overdrive, you have to use Toxtricity, I believe, because there's no other Pokemon that I'm pretty sure learns it. So that's bad. Razor Wind is bad. So is Powdered Snow. And then Swift and Twister are crap too. But all these other moves are good. And then the ones that hit the ally, Boom Burst, Discharge, Lava Plume, Parabolic Charge, Sludge Wave, Surf. Wait, why did I say Surf Wokuyen plus a special mon? And or Snarler. I think I meant to... No, this is supposed to be separate. Yeah, what was I doing? Okay. So, Wokuyen plus a special mon and or Snarler slash Struggle Bugger. That was another idea that I figured people would come up with, or I could come up with and use. So, basically, and I could add to all this list later of the mons that get these good moves and stuff, but kind of tired right now and that would take forever. So basically, like Volcarona slash Arcanine. That's how you abbreviate Arcanine. And then Ting-Lu plus a physical mon or intimidator and breaking swiper, etc. So Arcanine was probably the biggest one. Also Salamence and Tauros. Tauros Aqua actually is doing really well. Or actually Tauros Fire would be good too. Tauros Fire, because it's not weak to Fairy. So Tauros Fire would be good. Because it's like Arcanine. Yeah, I need to test that out. Tauros Fire would be amazing actually in Series 3. Because people have even used it pretty well in Series 1 and 2. But I think Series 3 would be where it's by far the best. Because all the Ruins mons are weak to fighting. And it still only takes neutral from like a Fluttermane. So you could use like a Salt Vest or something with it. And then Breaking Swipers, yeah. Excalibur is decent, but you would want Roaring Moon for more speed. And let's see. Charm and Feather Dance users. It has the whole list here. Even though a lot of these aren't very good, like Kilowattrel. Now, Trop Kick, yeah, Parting Shot. These are all still physical mons that lower attack. So, Lunge, Strength Sap, and then also moves that, let me see, why did I put Dragon Dance in there? Oh, because it helps with the physical Pokemon to make it sweet, but I don't know. Plus a physical mon. I don't know why I still don't know why I put Dragon Dance. I guess just to make it sweep. Because it's a good sweeping move. I should put that physical mon. And then Garganacl is a bulky staller. And then, one second. Jeez. Okay, Wokuyen plus a special mon. No, I already had that. Why did I put that twice? Snarlers. Arcanine's probably one of the best. Okay, and then Volcarona is a good struggle bugger. Quiver Dancer, Volcarona, Chilling Water users are all listed. Mons that are bulky stallers, Garganacl and Arbolivia. There's more. There's, but that's Wokuyan, so I can't put Wokuyan twice. And anti-mana mons like Bugger, Fairy, or Fighting Mons. So these are the good bug types, the good fairy types, the good fighting mons, and just look at all these things. The Qian Pao's weeks, Wokuyan's weeks, Ting-Lu's weeks, Chi Yu's weeks. So you have 4 of them weak to fighting, 3 of them weak to bug, 3 of them weak to fairy. That's why when I was team building, I was thinking, wait, what are some of the best fighting and fairy types? And maybe I'll put a bug type on too, because no one was using Slitherwing in Series 2. And I was like, well, maybe it's time to shine. Who knows? With first impression booster attack energy. And it worked pretty well in some battles, but overall with Intimidate, that kind of screwed it over. So in hindsight, I'll show you how I fixed the team. I think its weaknesses. Those are the weaks of the Ruins Mons. So I'll show you my OTS later. Yeah, I saved all my rounds. I don't really want to show them because some of it's kind of private, but anyways, the weaknesses, I think I listed them after I was battling with it a little bit. Um, or actually just looking at people's teams and what countered me. Gyarados seemed to be an issue. Arcanine in general. Iron Defense, Garganacl, Dondozo seemed to be a little bit of an issue. A lot of these things, these notes I put down were from like actual tournament battles. So things that would block priority, yeah, I mean just anything that would cause a little bit of a nuisance to my team. So I'm going to show you the original team. So I figured this would be a good, well-rounded team. You have the Tailwind set up. You have basically a way to do stuff with your lead to be double fake out immune. You have Amoonguss, which counters Iron Hands, and I was seeing how common Iron Hands was, and I figured it would be common in Series 3 because of all the fighting weaknesses. So I'm like, I'll just use Amoonguss because I looked at all the Pokemon that resist both of Iron Hands' stab moves, and the only other ones were like Dragalge or like Bramblegast or whatever, and I wasn't thinking they would be that good. Even though I did use Dragalge in Charlotte, but that was because it was a hard Trick Room team, and I was trying to counter Dondozo. So you could if you're trying to counter Dondozo, but if you're not, I wouldn't really use Dragalge, especially not on a hard Trick Room team. But the fact that I had a hard Trick Room team and had issues with Dondozo, I'm like, I'll just use Dragalge because I'm really tired of Dondozo teams. And then the idea with Paldea and Tauros Aqua Breed was I just figured I remember Aqua Tauros being good in Series 1, and I just kind of figured, well, it has Intimidate. It's another fighting Pokemon. So I just thought it would do pretty well in general versus these Ruins Pokemon. The Qian Pao, the Ting-Lu's, Wokuyan, and why am I blanking on the other one? Chi Yu also. Chi Yu, it resists both of its stab moves, so I was like, oh, that's pretty nifty. I should try that. But actually, I might want to try out. I would kind of want to try out the fire one, but I already had fire coverage, so I think that's why I went with the aqua breed, and I used Raging Bull because I was thinking there would be screens and stuff. Otherwise, I would probably just be content with Wave Crash, but the Assault Vest didn't help that much because a lot of the stuff that were knocking me out were physical moves or really powerful special moves that even with Ting-Lu I couldn't survive, like a Flutter Mane. So that was that, and Slitherwing did all right, and it can one shot actually Chi-Yu with first impression. But the problem with it was really mostly Arcanine, even though I did think of like Arcanine and Will-O-Wisp though when I built this team. I was thinking, well, if I get Wisped, I can try to prevent it with like Tera Fire and get a more powerful Flare Blitz. And I ended up killing Corviknight and Amoonguss with it. So if you do use Slitherwing, I would probably use this exact same. Use it the same exact way I used it, not Life Orb or something. Whereas Recoil, but like exactly how I used it was great in certain battles. And the next one, um, Ting-Lu. I remember in Series Zero using it with a Screens team and Grimmsnarl, and it would be almost impossible for them to kill it, especially with like range support, without using a super effective move. So weakness policy was really good, even though now I might give it assault vest over weakness policy because I just felt like weakness policy didn't make that much sense with this hyper aggressive team because it did make some sense. It was pretty good, but I would have preferred more offense, like from the get go. Like even if they don't super affect it, to just hit them hard on the first turn, because I could often outspeed them too in Tailwind or something. So I might want to use either Soft Sand, Choice Band, or Assault Vest would be good for surviving attacks. And I think if I had to use Tauros again, I would use. Well, here's. Let me show you the newest team version of it. Weakness policy. I might still change that to another item, but for now I'm still using it. Uh, Maybe I'll change it to Assault Vest pretty soon, but I'm still testing weakness policy a little bit more. Or I might use, yeah, like something like Band or something that would boost it up. I'll see. Probably not Band because I might want to switch moves sometimes and not. Yeah, I don't think I would use Band because I don't like being locked in, feeling like I need to use Earthquake, but then getting locked into it. So I'd probably use either Soft Sand or Assault Vest or keep the weakness policy. And then I felt like in the tournament I needed a little bit more power, and I would have done better with the Tauros, like more Wave Crash power to kill their Arcanines. And um, I think Mystic Water would be a pretty good item with it. So I put Mystic Water on now, and it seems like it's doing a little bit better. It can actually one-shot Arcanine, even though it's intimidated, believe it or not, and outspeed it. And it speed ties with Chi-Yu, so you can outspeed that half of the time and either Wave Crash it or close combat it. And then Amoonguss, it has Terra Rock. I'm not sure if I'll keep it like that, but I like Rock because it walls Talonflame very well. It walls Arcanine. It walls Dragonite. Basically, it counters two of the things it's weak to, which is flying and fire, and those are the two most common weaknesses that it has overall. Because yes, there is freeze dry, but it's pretty much only bundle that uses ice moves and maybe the occasional like Bax Caliber or whatever, at least for stab ice moves. So the main thing I would do with this team would basically just be leading Talonflame with Specs Flutter Mane, and if I had to face Fake Out, I might just Tera Ghost with Talonflame, or facing an extreme speed Dragonite, or lots of things. But normally I wouldn't have to Tera with Talonflame, but a decent amount of the time I might. But when I did, it was worth it. It just like totally shut them down when I did, and I really like the hyper aggressive nature of this team. And hyper aggressive teams tend to work the best early season till people figure out a way to counter it. Even though Specs Goldango with Hayes Murkrow was like good the whole season, or I mean good all of Series 1 and 2 actually, even though people stopped using it in Series 1, and then I brought it back in Series 2 and people stopped thinking about it, and it did really well. And and the reason why I put King Ambit on the team is because I got really tired of all these Arcanines and whatever, and Gyarados, so I figured I'll just put King Ambit on, and that'll solve the Intimidate issue, and it has been solving the Intimidate issue so far, and it is also immune to sleep and immune to Will-O-Wisp if you use Tera Fire, and resist the Flare Blitz if you Tera Fire also. So it's not bad at all. I basically just took the Land VGC set and just changed it to Tera Fire instead of Tera Dark. And not a lot of people prepare for Swords Dance. You could just use Assault Vest with it, but if you use Assault Vest, you're not going to counter Amoonguss though. And you're not going to ignore Rage Powder with it. So, I don't know. I kind of like Lend VGC's set, even on a non-Trick Room team, so that's why I'm using that. Because having some Pokemon that can set up something on their team is really nice. And I didn't have that with this team, if you notice that. So, having a Swords Dance just seems really good. And now I'm not really worried about sleep anymore. I forget. Oh yeah, I was using a team like this, but I felt like I was possibly too weak to Spore. That's why I just kind of slapped on Taunt Talonflame to help deal with it, and I had Tera Grass on Tauros to go through the Amoonguss and be immune to Spore. So that yeah, that was kind of a weakness for me, was Amoonguss plus Arcanine, or just straight up Gyarados. So when I would Terra Grass with Tauros, then they would just Flare Blitz with the Arcanine. So that was actually a pretty significant weakness that they were able to exploit. By the way, with this team, I use Amoonguss probably by far the least, even though it is still useful. I just am thinking I might want to replace it eventually though, but I do like Amoonguss for countering like basically the Iron Hands and other things, but I still might want to change that. I really like this team though, the updated team version of it. It just works so well. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, besides saying like, I really wanted a priority move besides just the Brave Bird, and I have a lot now. Sucker Punch and lots of stuff. So thanks for watching.